friendships, relationships, partnerships, marriages, and so much more. This is Real Talk with Mimi. Are you ready to discuss? All right, welcome to Real Talk with Mimi. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I pop up on the scene. I am so excited to be here. It has been a while, but I am back. And I am so excited about today and what we're going to be talking about, which is communication. Yes, communication. Something that is very, very, very important in anything that you do in life, especially when you're dealing with other people. Okay? And so right now I'm going to talk about all truth, no cap. Okay? And so with that being said, according to statistics, about 40 to 50% of marriages in the United States end in divorce. About 40% of the first marriages end in divorce. Those who have been divorced once and remarry are more likely to get divorced, with as much as 60% of second marriages ending in divorce. That's a large number. And I'm almost sure that communication or lack thereof played a big role in a lot of those divorces. Because a lot of times we miscommunicate, or we don't know how to positively communicate with people. And so communication is just very, very important in every aspect of our lives. No matter what we're doing or who we're dealing with, communication is very important, especially in relationships. Okay? You think about it. The way we communicate with our friends, the way we communicate with family, the way we communicate with our children, the way we communicate with coworkers. It's very important how you communicate with people. Because if you communicate correctly, you may be able to get your point across to that person where they'll have an understanding on where you're coming from. It's all in your demeanor, in how you talk to people, and how you voice how you feel. Is it a loud voice, an angry voice, or a calm voice, or a look, or an attitude, or any of those things? How are you communicating? Have you asked yourself that question? Well, I myself, and I love to use myself as an example, have found that when I call myself communicating with people in the past and even in relationships, I have communicated negative. I have been negative in communicating. And just because I was angry or upset or mad, I communicated with that person at that time. And that was not the correct time or the correct way to communicate. Whether I raised my voice, or I slammed the door, or I cursed, or whatever I did to communicate negativity to that person, it was just not the right way to do it. And so I had to calm down and talk to myself, and had to realize that I was not communicating properly at the time and for the situation at hand. And so now I have learned how to communicate a whole lot better with people. And sometimes you just have to go ahead and take a breather, walk outside, or just take some time to pull yourself together before you try and communicate with people. Because you can say things that can upset that person. You can say things that you don't mean, especially when you're upset and you're trying to communicate. You have to always remember that communication is something that we use every single day in every single way in our lives. When a baby communicates, a baby cries a lot. A baby will cry if something is wrong. If they're wet, if they're hungry, or if they're having a pain, maybe they got gas. We don't know. But I know myself as a parent, when my child as a baby cried and cried, I said something ain't right. And I want to find out what's wrong, because I understood that was that child's way of communicating. Okay, and so we're not children. As adults, we have to also understand that we communicate in a positive way with people. We can get a better understanding, and we can get better results according to how we communicate to that person. A lot of us also hold things in, and then we want to communicate once everything has built all up in us. We want to start talking and communicating. Well, that's just you finally exploding, and you should have been communicating right when you're calm. Don't communicate when you are upset, because like I said, things will come out all messed up, and the other person just might not get it. And we also have to understand that the way we look at people is a way of communicating as well. If you have a messed up face, or if you're crying, you're communicating to someone, whoever it is. If they pass by, it could be a perfect stranger, but if you're crying, a lot of times that person is going to be like, well, what's wrong? Are you okay? And the reason they do that, because they feel like this person is communicating that something is wrong, or either, they're happy if they're crying, but it could be a way that you're crying that can let a person know that something's wrong. Or it could be a way that you're crying with a smile on your face. You just look so happy and excited because those are happy tears. A lot of times people can tell whether they're happy tears or whether they're sad tears, because you are communicating. You could be communicating without even knowing it. A lot of people say, I can't really lie. I can't lie because my face is going to show it. Because that's your way of communicating. A lot of times your facial expressions can communicate things to people, or your actions, what you do. If you see someone running up to you with their fists in the air, what you gonna do? 9 times out of 10, you gonna get out the way, because that's their way of communicating. You don't finna come whoop your ass. A lot of times that's what it is. And so that's their way of communicating to you, okay, here I come. And so communication is just very important. And then we can all understand that how you come to people and how you approach them and how you talk to them is very important. Then I think that a lot more relationships and marriages and things will last a lot longer if you start that communication from the very, very beginning. Okay? And so now, myself, in the relationship that I'm in now with my fiance, I definitely communicate how I feel. Whether it be good or whether I feel bad, I'm going to communicate with him. I'm going to let him know how I feel, and I'm going to talk with him, and I'm going to be positive about the conversation that I have with him. And so if I'm feeling upset that day, or if I'm not feeling like I want to be bothered, instead of me having an attitude, or me being like just having a messed up face or something, I'm going to simply come to him, hey babe, I would really like to talk to you, but I'm just not having a real good day. And, maybe, you can use a hug at that time or something. That person, your mate, might say something that actually makes you feel better, during that time. But, instead of you just having this bad demeanor about yourself and having this attitude, or, just making that person feel like, I just don't want to be bothered with you. No. It's a way you do anything. It's a way you do anything. And I was told by a wise woman that a marriage is nothing short of a relationship. Whatever happened in a relationship is going to carry on into that marriage. So in other words, If you were not communicating well in that regular relationship, a lot of times communication is going to be off in that marriage. Okay? And so we have to learn how to communicate in a positive way. Even me, myself, I'm still working on my communication with certain people. I think I pretty much got it down pat in my relationship, but in some of my friendships, I need to learn how to communicate better because I'm the type of person that would just withdraw. Period, point blank. Just withdraw. And a person who's used to talk to you probably like, something ain't right. I ain't heard her. She don't hit me up. She don't do none of that no more. It's because of my lack of communication sometimes. And so everyone is a work in progress. And as long as you realize and tell yourself the truth, that you need to communicate better and that you need to better yourself in that area, I am almost sure that you will have a more positive impact in your life and the person's life. Even with coworkers, you have to know how to communicate, because some of these coworkers, let's just be honest, can get on your nerve. But you have to know how to communicate with them in a positive way. And if you feel like you're unable to communicate with that person, because some people won't let you communicate with them positively. So if you can't communicate with them in a positive manner, you might have to get someone else to mediate the situation. But nevertheless, you have to realize that communication, positive communication, starts with you, yourself. Whether the person takes you in or not, it starts with you to know how to communicate with people in a positive way, without all the drama, without all the attitude, without all the mouth, without all the loud talking. Just learn how to calmly communicate with people. And if you can't get your point across, and that person is just not hearing it, no matter how you try to communicate with them, they're just not getting it, then you yourself might have to go ahead and walk away from that situation. Pray about it and keep it moving. But always check yourself first. It starts with you and how you communicate with people. I have to learn how to communicate better, even with my children. They upset me sometimes. They do things I don't like. I have teenagers, and I have to learn how to communicate with them a lot better. Even when they tell me stuff I don't want to hear, I have to learn how to listen and communicate how I feel about what they told me. And then them in return communicate back with me in a positive way, so we can get a clear understanding of what's going on. And so that's my take on communication. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Please, 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 please comment down below. Let me know what you think. All comments are welcome. And I am just so appreciative of everyone that subscribed so far. And I'm so excited for the next show. And so to end this, I'm going to talk about mess in social media. This right here is one way that a person in social media right now with the mess is not communicating very well. My guy Kanye West. Oh my goodness, it's all over social media. Now he's been canceled to perform. And it's just, the communication is off. He's communicating through social media, which a lot of us do. We go in there and we put all our business out there on social media and we express through social media to people. I don't know, the reasoning for it, but a lot of us do that. Communicate with that person one-on-one. It's not everyone's business what you have to say to that person or how you're feeling about that person, especially in your relationships. It's not. You have to communicate with that person. Social media is not the way to go. For me personally, communicate in a personal way. And so that's my opinion. I'm not saying he's wrong for doing it. I just wouldn't do it myself. I don't feel like social media is the way. And a lot of us need to learn how to keep our business off of social media, especially when it's dealing with the loved ones or someone that we cared about or once had a relationship with, when it comes down to communication. Okay? That's it for me, people. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Again, this is Real Talk with Mimi. Have a good one.